Welcome back, ECHL fans, to another episode of the ECHL Insider. I am your host, Garrett Hunter, and we are happy to report that we officially hit the 100 subscriber mark this week. So thank you to everybody who subscribed. We really appreciate it. Couldn't have hit the mark without you, but we want to keep going, keep building from here. So, tell your friends, pass it on to all the hockey friends. We want to make sure that we keep bringing ECHL news and action to the whole ECHL league and all fan bases. So with that, a big thank you to everybody, and we will recap last week's action before getting into a packed top 5 games of the week. Well, last week it was the Rapid City Rush playing back-to-back against the Cincinnati Cyclones. 2 thrilling 1-goal games it was. Cincinnati getting a 5-4 overtime win. The first one over the Rush, and then coming back the next night with a 3-2 win over Rapid City. So two big wins for Cincinnati as they're looking to chase down a playoff spot in that Central Division, and 2 really fun home wins for Cyclones fans. Also, the Savannah Ghost Pirates and South Carolina Stingrays played a very physical, hard-fought 3-game series. With the first 2 up in North Charleston, it was all Ghost Pirates in both of those games, 6-3 and 5-1 wins for Savannah. But then the Stingrays responded, right? On Sunday afternoon, they got a 4-0 shutout victory over the Ghost Pirates. This South Carolina team, they're really good. They're going to respond. They got punched in the mouth 2 back-to-back nights at home, which rarely happens in South Carolina. And this is a good Savannah team. Very improved roster, and really impressive, and definitely a win to be able to take 2 out of 3 over South Carolina if you're the Ghost Pirates. And finally, Reading, got to talk about what they did on Friday night to the Gargoyles. A 6-0 blowout win at home on home ice for the Royals. Really impressive what they did to Greensboro, getting a blowout victory at home. Well, with that leads us into our top 5 games of the week. It is a loaded schedule as we get ready for the All-Star game on Monday. Coming out of the All-Star break on Friday, it will be the Reading Royals and Wheeling Nailers. 2 good teams right now in the North Division. Wheeling, feels like they're almost unstoppable. Yes, they stumbled back-to-back games in Norfolk this last week. And Norfolk's a team that you got to watch out for now. They've strung several wins together, and they're going to look to climb the standings down the North Division. But, this Wheeling team, they're really good. Really strong team on home ice, so something to look out for. And this Royals team's looked better, right? We talked about their blowout win over Greensboro. They've been able to string some wins together behind goaltender Keith Petruzzelli, right now boasting a 2.44 goals against. And he's really stepped into the spot, right, of Vinny Purpura, who got traded to the Savannah Ghost Pirates. Really changed up that goalie room in Reading, but Petruzzelli has stepped into the role as starter for the Royals and has really just embraced this opportunity, and it's worked out really well for Reading. So should be interesting as they match up with a big-time rival in the Wheeling Nailers. At number 4, a South Division clash between the Atlanta Gladiators and South Carolina Stingrays on Friday. We're talking about a South Carolina team. They've won 6 out of their last 8. An Atlanta team, they've gone back and forth, coming off a win over the Greenville Swamp Rabbits on Sunday, and they will see them again on Monday. So, this is an Atlanta group that's been tried and tested. They've looked good this year, and a team that's made up mostly of ECHL players, right? Atlanta has just 2 American League players right now on the roster. They look really good. A lot of young rookie players on this Atlanta team that have stepped up and filled some big shoes right now for the Gladiators. So they will definitely be tested, though, on the road against these South Carolina Stingrays. At number 3 this week, the Fort Wayne Comets and Wheeling Nailers on Sunday afternoon in Wheeling, West Virginia. Should be a great game. You look at these 2 teams, former rivals, right, when Wheeling was in the Central Division, which might change, right, with the addition of Trenton coming into the league. So that's a big news story for you. But really, interesting the history between these two teams. Two really good teams this year, but obviously they don't get to play as much now with being in different divisions. But Fort Wayne's a really good team. They're led by a goaltender in Nathaniel Day with a 2.64 goals against average. He has started the most games of any Comets goaltender, and he's looked good. And then this Wheeling team, who's won 5 out of their last 7 games, right? We just talked about the Nailers, a good team on home ice, so should be a challenge for the Fort Wayne Comets. At number 2, a Mountain Division clash between the Tahoe Night Monsters and Kansas City Mavericks. Kansas City leads the Mountain Division, and in fact the whole league right now, boasting a 12-game winning streak right now. Just incredible right now for the Mavericks. Everything going right for them. They're defending well. They are dangerous on offense. They have a great goalie in Jack LaFontaine, and they're led by a defenseman actually in Marcus Crawford, who is putting up 43 points from the back end. Just incredible to say that. 43 points as a defenseman. Marcus Crawford is as offensive a defenseman as you'll see in this league. Just incredible. But on the other side, right, he's got to contend with the likes of Casey Bailey, 36 points for Tahoe this year, and Sloan Stanek, Rookie of the Year last year for the Tahoe Night Monsters. Stanek and Bailey are two of the best forwards in the whole ECHL, and they both play on the same team, with Tahoe. So can the Night Monsters end this ridiculously long win streak for the Mavericks? Should be interesting to see this on Saturday and Sunday night, but this Mavericks team, they're going to be ready to play on home ice, so should be a very good challenge for them going up against this Tahoe team. And our number 1 game of the week, the Florida Everblades and South Carolina Stingrays are set to do battle Saturday and Sunday from the North Charleston Coliseum in South Carolina. Two of, the standards teams in the South Division and arguably in the whole league, historically and right now. And if you're someone who likes to see physical, hard checking, forecheck, physical, just, in your face hockey, you want to watch these two teams, right? They are two of the most physical teams in the whole ECHL, two of the best in the South Division, and I just can't wait to see these two teams go at it back-to-back days. Everblades and Stingrays, two bitter rivals right now in the ECHL. A lot of teams hoping, a lot of fans hoping that we see a playoff series between these two teams. This year, we almost did last year, but South Carolina didn't make it to the second round. But, this year, South Carolina's looked good, right? They've won several games now, and, yes, they had their bumps up against the Savannah Ghost Pirates, but they came back with a win on Sunday, 4-0 over Savannah, and they're led by forward Simon Pennard, right? We've talked about him. 36 points, right, for the forward position. Simon Pennard, very talented for the Florida Everblades. And then for the South Carolina Stingrays, And then for the Florida Everblades, right, Cam Johnson, defending goalie of the year. He is really strong between the pipes for them. And then their captain, right, Oliver Chow, definitely a scoring threat for them. And this Florida roster, we don't even have time to talk about up and down their roster, just loaded with talent, with experienced veteran coach Brad Ralph behind that bench. So should be a very good physical games between the Everblades and Stingrays on Saturday and Sunday. Well, we are mixing things up a little bit, concluding this episode with the biggest news of the week, and that is the Trenton organization, right? The Utah Grizzlies are moving next year from Utah to Trenton, New Jersey, and they released a name and logo, as you can see behind me. They will be the Trenton Ironhawks. Really great name. A lot of fan votes went into this. A lot of time, a lot of effort, and the logo looks fantastic if you look behind me. Just a great logo, great name, and can't wait to see this team take the ice next fall. With that, we will conclude with our fight of the week. Check this one out, a big heavyweight scrap in Worcester with the Railers and Mariners on Sunday afternoon. So we hope you'll enjoy this fight, and make sure to subscribe to our channel. Keep those subscribe and like buttons going for us. Help us build this channel. and we will see you next week for more ECHL action.
Ihora, he'll tip it off the boards, and it comes up, and here we go. Macaulay Carson's dropped the gloves. Macaulay Carson and Stewart going at it here, right inside of the Lister zone. Carson feeds him over the top, hammers him with a couple of rights. Oh, he's hitting the helmet pretty hard here, Macaulay Carson. A huge scrum here along the near boards as Carson is just absolutely giving it to Stewart. Stewart getting a couple good ones right back at him. This is a great tilt inside of the Lister zone here. Right along the near side, Carson and Stewart, an extended one at that. Finally, Carson's helmet comes off. They continue to bang off the wall there. A huge right and an uppercut to boot from Carson. Macaulay Carson, a couple of heavy blows. Gets a few back from Stewart, throws another one in. Back and forth they go. They'll end it on their feet. Some respect between the two of them. That's a fight right there. If you don't like that,